Okay. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. As you must have seen in the poster, I'm Archana Mathur, and I'm a former principal of CBSE school in Ambala. Prior to that, I have been a PGT English, and being in the army, I've had the fortune of working in many reputed schools pan-India. I think it's been a blessing of God because I got to meet lots of people, right? And I learned a lot from my seniors and my colleagues. So today I'm here with the topic, leadership with purpose. Now, we all know what leadership is all about. And in the educational purview, it is basically the principal who's supposed to be a leader. But it's not just the principal. This webinar, though you may feel it's been made for principals, it's not. It's for all you academicians who work in the capacity of maybe, like a coordinator or the head of a department, or you are planning to take up leadership in the times to come. So this is for you. And as far as I'm concerned, I just told you I've been a PGT, but right now I'm working as a freelancer for a couple of publishers. I go and conduct workshops for them, and it's a very, very thankful job for me because, I feel very fulfilled when I meet up with educators of today because we learn so much from each other. That's how growth happens. And also, I'm a very keen YouTuber. I make videos on education and especially on English because that's been my subject. So without much further ado, I'll start my presentation. So give me just a minute to share my screen. Yeah. So is it visible? If somebody could just unmute and tell me, is the screen visible?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am, it is visible.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And those who've entered a little later, welcome once again. I can see Archana ma'am and a few more. So welcome all of you. And thank you for acceding to my request. Okay. So this is the first slide. Of course, that's my channel on YouTube, Eloquent English Enterprise. So welcome everyone once again formally. Okay. Now here, I'm going to talk about leadership with purpose and be the leader that you would like to follow. Because, in our, from our childhood times, we have admired a few people, our teachers, our principals. And I, as a young schoolgirl, always tried to follow or to emulate a few of my teachers who were very good, not just in their personality, but also as human beings. Their conduct, the way they taught us. So I feel that if I have to be a leader, I should emulate them. Of course, my personal traits have to be there. I cannot 100% follow those people. But with a difference, whatever good qualities somebody has, let us try to emulate them or follow them. So lead strongly, lead boldly, and lead fearlessly. That's the motto for today. Now, what is educational leadership? We talk about being educational leaders, but what is it actually? So here it is. Educational leadership basically is built on the premise of constructing and applying knowledge in ways that make a positive difference. That is, we are all educated. We all have a lot of knowledge, definitely in different spheres. But how do we get it together in a way which proves beneficial to our team, to our school, to the alma mater? So, because in a particular school, there are so many people with diverse qualifications and qualities. So how to make the best possible use of all these resources which are available to us. And this we can do even as colleagues. You don't have to be a principal necessarily. Even as colleagues, like all of us have our positive traits and maybe certain weaknesses, but how to put all of these together so that we can benefit the school or the institution where we are working. So this transformation that we bring about as a team is what educational leadership is all about. And there has to be a leader. Okay, there has to be somebody who guides, because if everybody starts, putting in their version, then there's bound to be some commotion and confusion. So, next slide. Now, there is a 3C strategy, just as we have 4 Cs when we come to the techniques in teaching, in technology, the 20th century technology. Similarly, we have 3 Cs strategy for school principals and leaders, also for effective leadership. Now, this is what it is all about. And to demonstrate your leadership qualities, you have to have these 3 qualities in your personality. Now, these are communication. See, we are social people. We have to keep communicating. If we do not communicate effectively, now communication, of course, is there, but it has to be effective. You keep talking, but you're not able to convey the points to your listeners. It's not communication. Consistency. Consistency means that, whatever we are doing as leaders, or maybe as not principals, as I mentioned earlier, even as coordinators or maybe heads of department, we have to be consistent in our approach and attitude with all the team members. We cannot have a bias in our minds that I am, fair to somebody and unfair to someone else. No. Consistency in dealing with your team. That is what it is all about. And of course, calmness is very essential for any kind of leader, because if there's a problem and you also start running helter-skelter, you lose your patience, or you yourself become, very worked up. So obviously your team is going to suffer. So when there is an emergency, when there's some problem, the school leader has to exhibit excellent calmness. You have to be extremely calm so that other people feel that even if there's a fire, your leader is going to get you out of it. Okay, so you depend on the leader. You look up at the leader that he or she is going to take you out of the mess, which has been created for some reason, not necessarily your own. There are so many mishaps which are beyond our control. They happen. Okay. Now, importance of effective leadership. Leadership is one thing, and to be an effective leader is what I'm going to talk about. So if you are a school principal, or you're a leader, or you're planning to become a leader in the longer run in future, it is during the time of crisis that your real nature or your real worth is estimated, or it comes to the forefront. So it's very important that when there is a kind of an emergency, like for example, I've given over here also, when the pandemic happened, it was a very, very critical time. The school leaders did not know how to function, because at that particular time, online classes were almost non-existent. But then they all got together, they put their heads together. And so that was a time of trial for everybody. Now, when we talk of education, there are different types of stakeholders. Of course, the principals are there. You have teachers, you have parents, and most importantly, your students, whose entire life depends on their education. So they were not to be made to suffer. And in such times, this is a quote by one of very reputed principals in Delhi, that as a principal, one should have a clear and straightforward approach towards a problem. And if there is a lack of leadership qualities, the person will not be able to lead the team in the right direction. Okay, so all leaders, whether they are principals or in any sphere of life, they have to give effective leadership to all of their team members. The qualities of educational leaders, right? So everyone wants to be a leader, because, we have to look ahead of times. If we decide just to remain a teacher and maybe go right up to class 11 and 12, then there is a case, or maybe there could be stagnancy which may occur. So we have to look up and keep bettering ourselves. We have to keep improving ourselves. And for that, we have to imbibe certain qualities. So anyone can strive to become a successful educational leader. And there are certain qualities which are very essential to become a good leader. And out of these, the three which I have chosen for today are compassion, perseverance, and vision and perseverance. Compassion. We all know what is compassion about. There are 2-3 terms when we come to these feelings. There is sympathy and there is empathy, and then there is compassion. Sympathy is when we look down upon somebody, oh, that poor guy, you know, so you sympathize with that person. Empathy is when you put yourself in the shoes or in the place of that person who is under pressure or under some problem. So you try to understand the problem from the point of view of that person. That is empathy. Compassion is to then bring about change in that situation. So when you are compassionate, you look at your colleagues or the people who may be going through a problem. You look at the problem from their point of view, not your point of view. And then you try to get out a solution for them. You try to bring out, or you try to create a situation from where this particular person can benefit. So that is compassion. Looking at another person's problems from their point of view, not from our point of view. That is compassion. Vision. This is a term which is very often confused. Now, there is sight and there is vision. Sight is what I can see with my eyes. I can see my computer. I can see all of you in front of me as small icons. So this is my sight. Vision is to look at something in future. It is foresight. So when I become a leader, or when we become leaders, we have to envision certain things for the institution that we are working for. It could be anything. There are so many arenas where a principal has to, put his or her mind to. It could be academics, it could be sports, it could be inter-school competitions. So when you work a strategy, when you work out a strategy for all these things which may come towards, in the future, so that is vision. So you have to envision a lot of things which are not actually happening in the present times, but what may happen in future. You have to look for it. You have to think about that. And then you have to develop your strategies. You've got to plan your strategies. Perseverance is to continue doing. That's the dictionary meaning also. That when I decide to do something, I will persevere towards it. I will not give up. Of course, there are problems. There's nothing which comes easily to us, because life is not a bed of roses. We've heard about it. So perseverance is a quality which sails you through your problems. So you keep working hard constantly, and then you realize that you come out as a winner. So perseverance, vision, and compassion are 3 essential qualities which every leader is supposed to have, or imbibe, or at least build up, try to build up, because there's nothing impossible. When you make up your mind, it's going to happen. Okay. Educational leadership skills, right? So first is analytical thinking. Now, what is analytical thinking? We all think, of course. So in a particular situation, what would be the best way to get out of a certain situation or to get solution to a problem? That is what analytical thinking is all about. I will not, stress upon this too much. Otherwise, we'll be running out of time, and 7:40, this meeting is going to get over. So analytical thinking is getting into the problem and then trying to find out what can happen. Just a minute. There are some people in the waiting room. How do I get them? I don't know what to do.
And just click on participants, you'll be able to see them.
Okay. Invite. No, ma'am, it's not happening. Invitation wala aa raha hai. Participants.
When you see the list of
Yeah.
participants, it will show.
Yeah. I'll admit all. Thank you, ma'am. Despite trying to be tech savvy, there are certain things I still have to learn. Okay, so welcome all of you. I'm sorry I had to keep you waiting, because I have to confess I'm not very techno savvy. So Ravinder ma'am just helped me. And okay, next is No. Collaboration. See, a school or any institution cannot be run by a single person, and you have to take each other's help to be, effective teachers or educators. So collaboration is something which is an absolute essential when we come to a school. The entire staff has to collaborate for the future lives of our students, because they are the most important stakeholders in an educational institution or in a school. So we have to learn to collaborate. And in case, a leader finds out that there is some kind of rift going on somewhere, they have to nip the problem in the bud as soon as possible. Okay. So then we come to the top considerations of an educational leader. These are the ones. How to answer questions. Now, you become answerable to so many people. As I just said, there are so many stakeholders when we come to an educational institution. So there are questions about equity, ethics, social justice. So how to bring about solutions to problems and how to make a positive difference to the entire community is something that you have to shoulder yourself. You have to make a positive impact in the situation or in the arena that you are. You have to be very, very open-minded. You have to keep your eyes, ears, everything open, so that you get to know what is happening all around you, and accordingly you can take up your actions so that whatever happens subsequently is for the general benefit of your entire team. Now, what is equity and educational leadership? Equity means, like I said earlier also, consistency. So we have to have this kind of equality in terms of our team, because if we do not do that, then there is no difference between a good leader and a not so good leader. We have to be very equal and very just and fair in our dealings with the entire team that we are heading. As a principal, and if you are the head of the department or if you're a coordinator, then whatever group you are leading, you have to be very fair and just to all the members. You cannot be biased towards or against any one of those members. That's just not that. So this is a little explanation which has been given. When you see the recording later, I'm sure you'll be able to read it in a better way. So again, some more participants. Yeah. Okay. Next slide. Now, this is something which I have experienced as a principal, and I'm sure all of those who are watching and they are principals, they will empathize with me and they will understand that whatever I'm taking up over here is absolutely true. Now, we feel that principals are sitting in their AC rooms and they're having a ball. It's not like that at all. There's a lot of struggle which the principal has to undertake. Because he or she is not just an individual, he or she acts like a bridge between so many people, teachers and the board members, parents, students. There are so many people that you are answerable to. So a principal has a lot of struggles to make, and see, this is what happens. And you have to just keep climbing. There's no end to your troubles. Firstly is the thankless attitude of some educators. You do so much for them, but you are a new principal and there may be some staff members who've been there for 15, 20 years and they feel that they know everything better. So whatever you say, they will, put up resistance. They are resistant to you and they are thankless because they say, "Tumne kya kiya hamare liye? You are a new person. We have been here for a long, long time." So whatever you try to do is not taken in the real perspective. They will always find out a way and means to go against you. It's unfortunate, but that's what it is all about. So they don't want any change. They say, "Jo ho raha hai, hone do, bas, we don't want anything else." So even if the others try to, make some changes or change themselves, their attitudes or their way of functioning or their teaching methodology, the old ones will tell them, "Don't do it." Okay, so you better stay the way you've been doing. The second thing is they neglect professional development. There are lots of staff members who say, "Chal to raha hai," matlab, why unnecessarily trouble us with workshops and this and that? They're just not supportive. So this is very important because, you know, any kind of field or arena, you have to have professional development. It has to continue. It's a continuous process. So you cannot neglect it. You have to think about your professional development. Some of them have disruptive influence also. I'm looking at the clock because I don't want to run out of time. Okay. Now, more trouble for leaders. I have 10 minutes left. The problems which are faced by school principals in particular. Let's see, what are these? Educators' morale and retention. As a leader, I or you or anybody else who's there as a leader, we have to see to it that we are able to maintain or retain the morale of our team. That's very important. We have to learn how to have conflict resolution. If there is some rift going on between our team members, we have to resolve that issue as soon as possible. We have to maintain school reputation. That, of course, even as a teacher or as any part of the staff, you have to do. And resource allocation. We have to keep getting resources. It's a tough task because many a times, our directors and the ones who are on the board, they are not very receptive and they are not very supportive of this, but we have to find more resources for our educators. It is mandatory for their progress and for their functioning. Okay, so now we come to professional development. Lots of people think that professional development is not required because this is something which happens automatically. No, nothing happens on its own. We have to make an effort to go out and develop ourselves as professionals. And this is what it is all about. So let's see what is professional development. It is improving yourself on your own. There's going to be nobody who's coming to tell you that. Of course, the principal will, as a principal, your director can tell you, but if he himself or she himself was such a good professional, then they would not require you. They would become the principals themselves. So this is something which you have to look, you have to do a kind of self-analysis. You have to improve yourself. You have to keep yourself abreast of the latest learning, the latest technologies, and all the new things which are developing around you. So this way you can advance your career. Why is professional development important? Because it makes you a better employee. You see, any director or any school owner wants more students and more financial influx. So if you give them more admissions, if your reputation grows as a principal and your school's reputation also grows up, then your directors will be very happy. So you become a better employee or the best employee for them. They don't want to part ways with you. So this is one of the most essential things that happen if you develop as a professional. It helps you receive more opportunities for career advancement. Maybe good schools approach you themselves and they want you to take up principalship in their schools. Okay. Then it makes you a more desirable candidate because you have a better knowledge. You are an expert in the field of education. So more and more people or more and more stakeholders in the field of education, they want you to be a part of their team. It improves your own skill set and knowledge. I mean, till I am satisfied myself, I think nobody's compliments and what should I say? I mean, their good words are not going to help me. I have to be convinced myself that I am doing a good job. Other people may say good words, maybe out of formality, but till such time I myself am satisfied with what I am doing, I think everything doesn't seem to make sense. So we have to improve our own skill sets and knowledge because that is the way things have to go on, because change is the only thing which is permanent. We have to continue to upgrade ourselves. It's absolutely essential. Okay, before the time ends, let me try to finish. So when you grow, your company will automatically grow and you will be rewarded with a lot of success. So benefits, as I just said, your skills get recharged, your confidence grows, it enhances your hiring potential. I mean, you also have to take so many interviews to get the best of people as your team members. So it enhances your own hiring potential. Also, your skill development takes place, your job opportunities increase, your networking opportunity also increases. And all of this you instill in your team also. You improve their confidence, you make them more tech savvy, you make them better as teachers, and their hiring potential also increases. So they can also go to better schools. Their skill development, their job opportunities, their networking, everything improves if you become a good leader. And you provide mentorship. Now, what is mentorship all about? You have your mentees and you give them a lot of guidance. It could be regarding their theory part, their teaching. It could be something personal. It could be a problem that they are facing. So as a mentor, you can give a lot of help to your team members. So these are 4 ways to improve your professional development. Create a schedule of goals. I said vision is important. So look into the future and create your goals. Learning of new skills, completing of training programs, attending conferences, and reading books which are going to help you out in the smooth running of your institution. Attend training programs. These are very important. And thanks to AIEF, we have a big platform over here where so much of training and so much of guidance is being provided. So I'm thankful to all of you educationists because I've learned a lot from you all. So you can attend training programs, webinars, seminars, conferences, and that makes you a better professional. Take on new roles or responsibilities. Other than being just a principal, you can take up other responsibilities as well. You can become a mentor, you can become a kind of, counselor. So a lot of things you can do. And if you have the talent, you may even, help your students to participate in different inter-school projects. Continue your education, try to take up new courses and keep sort of, upgrading yourself. So you can earn a certificate, you can earn a license, you can take classes and get a higher degree because there's no end to learning. Learning is something which is a continuous process. So thank you everyone for your patient listening and hearing. I hope this was a good presentation, which you must have all enjoyed. And the next one, maybe, if God willing, I'll be taking up English language teaching in India, trends and challenges in the next webinar. So for the time being, it's signing off from me. And I'll just stop the share and we'll wait for questions. So, any questions? I can see a lot of messages. Thank you, ma'am. Yeah. Any questions? Because I think time is running out. I don't know how much time is left. It's almost over. So just in case it gets cut off, I won't be able to rejoin. I mean, I won't be able to host another one. So thank you so much. I think, yeah, it's 1 minute, 57 seconds left. So thank you, Geeta ma'am. Thank you, Ravinder ma'am. Thank you, Shikha ma'am, Tarang ma'am, Rachna, all of you, Anita ma'am, Shanta ma'am, Anmol, Aarti ma'am, Aruna ma'am, Champakali ma'am, Chanchil ma'am, Charulata ma'am. All of you, thank you so much, because if I keep reading the names, I think again, this meeting is going to end. So thanks a lot for your good words. And you've seen my channel already. So just in case you feel like subscribing, you can go to Archana Mathur's Eloquent English Enterprise. And if you want, you can put up your queries or your requests on the group also. Matthew sir is kind enough to let us also, interact within ourselves. So thank you, Champakali ma'am. Thank you so much. And thank you, Shobha ma'am. Thanks for
What is
joining.
the channel name?
Yeah,
What
sir.
is the channel name, madam?
Eloquent English Enterprise. Archana Mathur's Eloquent English Enterprise. If there is
Okay.
time, I'll just put it. Where is that? Okay, so here I'm going to stop the recording because that's not required now.